Here's a video on determining the pH, the hydrogen ion concentration, the pOH, and the hydroxide ion concentration. But you have to be given either one of those items or the molarity. So let's start out with a particular problem. I'm trying to determine the pH, the pOH, the OH concentration, and the hydrogen concentration of this hydrogen iodide. And the first step is for you to determine, is that a strong or a weak acid? And because it matters what formula you start the equations with. So the first step is it a strong acid? You have to know your 7 strong acids, and hydrogen iodide happens to be one of your 7 strong acids. That means that your hydrogen ion concentration, your H plus in the little brackets, which says hydrogen ion concentration, is equal to the molarity. So that would mean my H plus is automatically equal to this 0.25. So that's my first step. I will be using a set of equations. This is a square that helps you find out each one of these things, and I will set them up for you down here. The first thing I'm going to be looking at, of course, was your H plus. I know immediately it's 0.25 because it is a strong acid. That molarity and the hydrogen ion concentration are equivalent. The next thing, so that one's out of the way. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to follow the formula over here, if you look on the box. I'm going to follow this arrow, and it says to go from the H plus down to the pH. I'm trying to get to pH, and I'm at H plus. I'm going to follow this arrow. I'm going to use the formula, the negative log of my hydrogen ion concentration. So if I substitute my numbers in, that's the negative log of 0.25 because that was my hydrogen ion concentration. Now the key to this really is knowing how to operate your calculator. My negative button on this particular calculator is right here. So it's my negative, and then the log button is here. My negative log of 0.25, and my answer is 0.6. That's on this variety of calculator. If you have instead possibly a Texas Instrument calculator, it would be the negative button is down here, the negative, the log button is here, log of 0.25. Notice that it opened me parentheses, so I close them up for it, and I still get, of course, the same answer, obviously, that I was going to get a moment ago on the other calculator, which was 0.6. That's my pH. That pH tells me that this is an acid, because I know from my notes that anything between 0 and 6.9999999 under 7 is an acid. So that is a question that could be asked. I could be asked, given this molarity, do I have an acid or a base? I would be able to stop right there and tell you I have an acid. On this particular set of problems, it's asking me to go all around. So the next thing that I have to do is to figure out the pOH. And to figure out the pOH, I am going to have to follow the arrow from pH over to pOH. To do that, it's 14 minus my pH. So the formula is 14 minus the pH. Now you don't want to clear out your calculator. So really what that is 14 minus my answer. My answer that's showing right now in this calculator is the pH. So I want to do 14 minus, and on this calculator the answer is above the negative sign, so I have to access second and the negative sign. That's my answer. It would be the equal sign then. 13.39. On this calculator, it would be simple because it would just be 14 minus my answer, because there is an answer button here, and 13.39, of course, once again. So I would do 14 minus my answer, and I'd get 13.3979. Once again, don't clear out your calculator. Leave it running and continue on with the problem. The next problem is to figure out the OH minus. This is the hydroxide ion concentration. That's what that says. And to do that, I've got to follow this arrow up. When I follow the arrow up, it is the second log or the shift log. Now, the reason I have that two different ways is because this calculator is telling me shift for the log button, and this calculator, it's second for the log button. So determine what kind you have. I'm going to show you on both of these. So if I am solving for that, my problem, I've already finished that one, is the second log of my negative pOH. So that means it's the second log of my negative answer. You got to put that negative in there. So on this calculator, you start with exactly what it's telling you, and it is the shift on this one. So it's the shift log, but now of my negative answer, equal sign. Or on this calculator, it is the second log of my negative, and remember, to get to the answer, I've got to go shift and answer down here, of my negative answer. Of course, either way gets me to the same answer, which is 4 times 10 to the negative 14. Now, I have finished